Greetings and welcome to Phantom's Edge. This will be Chapter 5 of this reading. Sailing the ocean blue, Jacqueline and her crew searched for any pirate out at sea. After a few days, they stumbled upon a ship that was idling in the gentle waters. However, as they were approaching it to check on its whereabouts, the vessel raised its colors and began readying its portside cannons for battle. "Captain!" the scout shouted. "She bears the mark of pirates!" Jacqueline went to use her spyglass, finding what the man said to be so, then put it away as she called out, "Ready yourselves, men!" As the crew assembled against the pirates, a warning shot was given out to the right of the Bureau's ship's stern. However, Jacqueline was unaffected by it and yelled, "Ready all portside cannons!" As the two ships drew close, Jacqueline raised her right hand near her head, then stretched it out towards the enemy vessel and ordered, "Fire!" It took a few minutes, but the cannons went quiet as both ships motioned to board the other. Jacqueline's vessel took no damage of any kind, while the pirate's was just about ready to sink. The bureau captain and 10 of her men assembled to invade the pirate ship, while the rest readied their cannons and rifles to fire at any who dared to try and pull a sneak attack. Jacqueline entered the disturbing vessel, finding the captain to be waiting for her as he stood in the middle of the deck. The Kanai walked over to the man and said, "Captain Salvador, I presume?" The dark-skinned Hume stood uncaring to the bureau soldier's presence, while keeping silent as he gave a vicious glare. However, even with his stance, Jacqueline emotionlessly continued, "That's okay. You don't have to speak. Being captain of a ship that you named after yourself, you have every right not to speak. Yet I wouldn't be surprised either if you were both dumb and stupid." Pirates around their captain raised their pistols, as did the bureau soldiers around Jacqueline. Then Salvador said, "You may have crippled us, but you will not stop us. Bureaucracy will fall." "Oh, so it does speak. Very well then. It seems you don't want to surrender. That's okay." Jacqueline went to pull out her rapier as she readied against the pirate and continued, "We'll settle this your way. You win. You can have it what's on the Patronage 3. I win. Bureaucracy confiscates your ship and arrests your entire crew." "Captain," the commander called out, "are you sure that's wise?" "Commander, the Vice Admiral only told me to be rid of pirates. He never said anything on how to do it. So I might as well have a little fun." Salvador raised his right hand to tell his men to stand down. Then he pulled out his cutlass with his left hand and said, "Best not underestimate me, wench." "I'm surprised you even know the words under and estimate, let alone how to pronounce them together, pirate." Salvador grew furious at that, moving to swing at the woman. The bureau soldier purposely backed away with a few swings of her enemy, getting herself and the pirate to fight along the plank in between the two ships. She was able to defend against each strike he gave, while holding her left hand behind her back. The pirate swung with blind rage, striking harder and harder at Jacqueline's blade with each motion. However, no attempt he made at damaging the Kanai or her weapon was able to do so. She acted completely calm to the situation, while the Hume just became more and more frustrated as he began losing strength. With one last strike, the pirate went to swing at the bureau captain's feet. Yet even then, she dodged with little effort as she moved back slightly. Jacqueline smiled at the Hume as she said, "What's wrong, Salvador? You're the 8th notorious pirate on the bureaucracy's most wanted list. I thought you'd be a little tougher than this." "You bitch. How are you doing this? No military-trained soldier is this good." Salvador stepped forward for a hard swing from his right, but was unable to strike the bureau soldier. Jacqueline quickly hopped up onto the pirate's blade, then pushed off it with all her might as she sprung straight up in the air above the man's head. With the Kanai's action, the pirate's blade slipped out of his grip and stabbed into the plank. Salvador tried to reach for his weapon, but the bureau captain swung her blade only to slice the top of the pirate's hand. Jacqueline landed back on the plank near the cutlass she dismembered from her enemy, while the pirate took a few strides back as he held his wounded left hand near his chest. Jacqueline stood up as she raised her sword to the pirate and said, "Pathetic. What possible skill do you have to show in making the top 10 if you can't even hold your own in a simple duel? Salvador just stared angrily at the bureau soldier, panting for a moment as he thought, She's too fast. Just like Captain Kaio. But how? No one can match him. No one's as good as the dual-edged demon. Jacqueline moved to be at the cutlass's side, still aiming her rapier at the pirate. Then she grabbed the wedged sword with her left hand, to pull it out, and wield it backhanded as she said, "Last chance, pirate. Surrender, or perish." Salvador watched as the bureau captain readied the cutlass in her hand. Then he barked, "Witch, you'll never beat Kaio. No one bests the demon." Shortly after that, the other pirates cheered at their leader's praise. Jacqueline squinted her eyes at the pirate and said, "I've had enough of you." In one blindingly quick moment, Jacqueline jolted for the pirate and swung her rapier to first slice at both of his thighs. She swung it back up to her right as she neared the Hume to cut his chest, then went to slide past his right side. She swung the cutlass across to slice through the side of his neck, while also swinging her rapier down to cut his right calf. Continuing to bypass the pirate, the bureau captain twisted the cutlass in her left hand around for an outward swing, angling it down his back, then ended with one last swing with her rapier to cut the back of his thighs. Jacqueline finished her motion with her own back to the pirates, while she had the cutlass's blade placed behind her closed legs as her rapier was lowered and swung out from her right side. She also had her eyes closed as her head was tilted down slightly, still perfectly calm in her stance and expression. Salvador, however, was not as such. Without being able to notice what the bureau captain had done, the Hume fell before the Kanai's might, as several gashes opened up nearly all at once around his body where he had been struck. The pirate hit the plank, then slipped off to fall into the ocean's breast. Jacqueline tossed the cutlass aside into the waters below, then put her rapier away as she turned from the pirate ship and called out, "The Salvador is ours, men. Arrest the heathens, confiscate their loot, and send what's left of the ship to the bottom of the sea." "Yes, Captain," the soldiers complied. Along her voyage to the neutral isle of Houndania, home of the democratic Kanais, Jacqueline encountered 3 other pirate vessels. They were all just as easily defeated as Salvador was, yet it was a bit hard to pack those that were kept alive and arrested onto the Patronage 3. However, on the island, the bureau captain was given permission to have the pirates be kept within holding cells. They were to be confined until a carrier ship was able to transport the pirates back to Philae, where they would await trial to see whether or not they were to be executed. While maintenance and resupply was underway for the Patronage 3, Jacqueline stood at the bow, staring out at the sea with uncertainty. She wondered what to do with Kaio when they were to meet for the final time, while also what to do about Gregory and his lust for her as well. What if one is to come across the other, the Kanai thought. I wouldn't know what to do or even think if one killed the other, regardless if they figured the other was also in love with me. Hopefully fate won't decide for them to meet. "Captain?" Commander James, a golden-coated feline tiger, called out. When he neared his superior, the commander continued, "The ship is now ready for its next voyage. Whenever you feel it necessary, we can shove off." "Very good, Commander." Jacqueline turned to head into the city, while she continued, "We'll wait till the boat arrives for the prisoners, then we'll set sail." "Aye, Captain. Also, I remembered something." Jacqueline stopped just past the plank leading to her ship, while she watched the commander motion in front of her as he turned and went to pull something out of his right pants pocket. He revealed a small box, slightly smaller than his own hand, wrapped in decorative paper. As he handed the box to his captain, James said, "It's from Captain Gregory, ma'am. He said he wanted me to give you this after we left Philae. I kind of forgot up until now." Jacqueline took the box and unwrapped it, acting as if she had no cares to what it might be or why it was given to her. She found the item to be a wooden jewelry box brown with golden markings around its edges and no bigger than one's own fist. When she opened the box to check what was inside, it played a gentle tune such as Kaio's box had once before, but inside was not the same gem. Inside was a gold necklace that had a 2-inch large sapphire attached to it, with a 1/2-inch sized diamond in the jewel's center. As the woman stared down at the box and what it held, listening to its touching music, she wondered what to do as her heart became riddled with mixed emotions. Hate for the fact that the box's tune reminded her only of Kaio, whom she didn't wish to love anymore. Happiness for how one just as Gregory would show his love in such a glorious way as another once had. And last, sadness for how she could not come to a conclusion with either one to truly care for. With a superior silence, Commander James asked, "Is something the matter, Captain?" Jacqueline just turned to continue heading into the city, while she stared down at her present a little bit longer. Afterwards, with her commander following, the Kanai finally replied, "I just need to think for a while. Alone. The inn has reserved you a room, ma'am, along with one each for me and Lieutenant Rita. We'll be just across the hall if you need us." At night, Jacqueline was unable to put herself at ease to rest, haunted by the sound of the musical jewelry box's tune as she pondered about what to do. However, every time she tried to think of herself living a normal life with Gregory, her thoughts would only break away and find herself standing with Kaio. Yet with every try, she grew angry, wanting neither of the two with each passing second as the music scarred her more and more while it played. She finally took control of herself and ready to sleep, letting the tune reach its last note before closing the box. Having waited a few days, the prisoners Patronage 3 had captured were being escorted onto a carrier to be sent back to Philae. However, before the ship could leave the docks, Captain Jacqueline walked over to one of its crew members and handed them the jewelry box she was given. She gave them specific instructions when they were to hand it to Captain Gregory, saluting them as they sailed off. She then went to embark her own vessel, returning to patrol the sea to find and be rid of all pirates. This concludes the reading of Chapter 5. Thank you all for watching and listening. If you've liked what you've seen and heard, be sure to check out my other 2 novels, Lore of the Endowment and Ryu the Demon Slayer. Links will be in the description below. Other than that, stay safe, take care, and we will see you next week reading Chapter 6.